Hi, it's Alaska Granny. I'm out at Granny Camp, and this year I have a pop-up greenhouse by Eagle Peak. I bought it on Amazon, and I'm hoping to grow a few extra vegetables while I'm staying out here at my off-grid Alaska cabin. My pop-up greenhouse so far has been working great. We just had a couple of days of huge winds. It was so windy here in Alaska, unbelievable, and I thought, oh my gosh, the thing is going to blow completely away. I did have it fastened down with a few quirky, crazy things, some buckets of water, some boards, and I tried a few rocks, but it tended to look a little like a shanty town, so I decided to try to make it better. And what better way than to store some actual extra water, some drinking water that I can use for my plants or for drinking, since this is a dry off-grid cabin. If you're looking for containers to store extra water, you don't have to buy them, but if you want larger ones, it helps if you do. I found these at Fred Meyer's here in Alaska, which is part of Kroger, so you may find them where you are. They're 6-gallon containers, and a gallon of water weighs a little over 8 pounds, and so these are going to weigh at least 50 pounds when they're full, which that's getting to be the most that I'm able to move around. I don't have anyone helping me when I do any of my projects. Alaska Granny is doing all these things on her own, and so it needs to be something that I can manage for myself. That's been one of the biggest challenges of trying to fix some of the things and build some of the things and do some of the things that I do, is that I am doing them on my own, but it's still, if I can do it, so can you. We just need to accept the challenge and say, I'm going to do the best I can. And if I can't do that, then I need to find a way to make it so I can do it. Or if you can find help, that's a great idea too. When you buy a water storage container, you want to sanitize it before you store water if you're planning on using it for drinking. So I generally take about 1 quart of water and a few tablespoons of bleach. I pour that in, I swish the container all the way around, up and down, all over the gaskets, all over every side, and I do that for a few minutes until I make sure that anything that could be in the container is sanitized. Then I pour that water out, and it's time to fill them up. And no, there's a few drops left. There's bleach in city water, so there's not enough in there that's going to cause any difficulties, and over time, bleach just turns into water. If you're filling your containers with water that's already safe to drink from, say, your city water, your well, whatever it is from your faucet, then these are going to be safe as well. It's better if you can store them in a cool, dark, dry environment, but I'm storing them outside because I'm using the water containers to hold down my pop-up greenhouse here in Alaska. The winds are really strong here and the gusts are unbelievable. In other places they might call them hurricanes and stuff, but we just call it weather. I removed all of the random items that were holding down my pop-up greenhouse, and now I'm using these water storage containers, these 6-gallon containers, to hold down the sides. The benefit of it is I have additional fresh drinking water if I need it in an emergency situation. I also have additional water that I can use to water my plants if I can't haul enough out here and I need more. In an emergency situation, you always want to have all the water that you can, and sometimes we have to look creatively at places that we can store that water. If I had it out here for a long time and I had any question whether it was still safe to drink, I would simply get out one of my water purification filters and run it through that, and then I don't have to worry about it. There's so many ways that you can purify water, but this is already starting out pretty well. And so I'm not really concerned about bacteria and viruses and things like that. It may grow some algae, but you can always clean that out. Those kind of issues are easy to solve with a simple water purification system. Oh, Teddy. Teddy's concerned there won't be enough water for him, but there will be. Now, these water storage containers have a lid on them that is extremely difficult to open. I couldn't figure out at first why I couldn't get them open, and I realized there's this little lever thing, this gadget, you have to shove it in and get it past this little notch to get the lid open. And once you open it, it has a spout, it has a stopper, it's well made, and I've had them laying on their side, they're all filled up, and none of them are leaking. However, they were so hard to operate that little clicky latch thing that you can see I completely damaged one of my fingers. My thumbnail broke completely crazy and it hurts. So you have to be very careful if you find these particular types of containers. I filled up all of my containers. I was able to haul them out to Granny Camp. I used my dolly to set them in place so that I have them all around the perimeter of my pop-up greenhouse. I would have liked to put some on the back side, but I don't have enough. So I still have those, but I don't want to have just loose lids on open buckets. It doesn't look that nice, plus it's inviting insects to jump in here and start breeding and send mosquitoes all over the place. There's enough mosquitoes without me breeding them in my greenhouse. If you're looking for ways to store more water, think outside the box. Look for water storage containers and think of where you could actually store them. Did I intend to store gallons and gallons of water outside? No, but guess what? It's working out now. Will this work in an Alaska winter time? No, but that's the beauty of the pop-up greenhouse. I can unpop it, take off the cover, fold it up, and put it inside my Granny Camp cabin, store it for the winter, and I could drain the water from these water storage containers and store them in there as well. You have to be careful about where you store your water if you have very cold weather. It's going to freeze, and we know that water expands, and so yes, I do have a water barrel out here, and I have stored that outside all winter long for several years, about 2/3 full, and I haven't had any issues with it leaking. So perhaps I could store these water storage containers with some water in them if I wanted to, just to make sure that I had some water. If for some reason we had some crazy event and I needed to come out here, I would be able to try to melt some of that and have extra drinking water. You got into sticky things. If you have any creative ideas on how to store extra water so that you'll have enough for no matter what happens, leave it in the comments below so we can learn from each other. If you enjoyed my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might like it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.